Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Small Stages, Big Sounds. Tonight, I'm joined by Marco Simoncelli from London band The Heat Inc. Good evening, Marco. How are you?
Hello, David. I'm good, thank you, and I'm happy to be here.
Great stuff. So, you call yourself London's loudest rock and roll band. Where did that identity come from?
Well, probably because there are not many rock and roll bands in London that, as I expected when I moved in 2013, and it's mainly indie bands generally. Yeah, and we used to play quite loud because drum and bass are quite intense as approach to it.
Forceful.
Yeah, and intense, and plus now we have a second guitar, so the band has definitely a big sound.
I've been listening to your stuff on Spotify and YouTube, and I noticed you've been compared to bands like The Clash, The Stooges, The Rolling Stones, which is a hell of a comparison, and The Ramones. Now, in listening to it, I'm picking up in the vocals an element of sort of Billy Idol-ish as well.
I think Billy Idol is probably connected more with John's voice than the
Yeah,
music itself.
yeah. The voice I was thinking vocally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably there are some moments like in some other moments it's very Morrison to me as well, and yeah, it's definitely in that area in terms of tone.
I can see the comparisons with The Clash. It's very punky, but not angry punky, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
or probably there's a punk attitude in general.
Mm.
Also, when we don't play punk, so that might be definitely an element there. And if you see the Clash were overall a rock and roll band with some punk moments, but they were not just a punk band. So probably in that case, we like to maintain a direction with some rock songs, some garage songs, some punk songs, some acoustic songs. So yeah, I think great bands are generally rich and complete, and the Clash are definitely one of the greats.
Mm. Well, having said they are one of the greats, I see you received praise from Paul Simon and of the Clash as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happened that John, the singer of the band, was working on a project, and he had the chance to meet Paul Simonon, and he had again also the opportunity to play him some music, and we were very happy that he really liked it, and he gave us his quote.
Well, like I said, I've been listening to it for the last couple of days, and I quite like it as well. So, it really is very catchy. So,
Well, big choruses I think are always important in songs.
yeah. So, how do you compose your songs first? Do you start with a riff or the lyrics or a combination?
Good question. I think generally most of the times it starts with a riff and an idea of how the song it should sound. Then John is gonna come with his lyrics and melodies, or sometimes John has his own ideas, and then we are gonna make it work with riffs or bits of music. But generally, it starts from riff.
Okay. So, as you said when we were talking earlier, that I'd reviewed your album back in 23. So, what's your plans for the next 12 months, 2 years? Because I
It
know
was
you've
funny
released another
that
single.
you wrote regarding our first album that if you like Iggy Pop and The Cure, you're gonna like this album. So it was a great quote. And
Oh, there we are.
the program for this year is mainly releasing the next singles in the next
Hmm.
months. So it's gonna be other three singles because we released just the first one on the 30th of April, which is True Romance, and
Hmm.
is released through Triton Records and Republic
Hmm.
of Music. And then the album is gonna be out just when the fourth single is going to be released. So we are talking about September.
Okay. So you know where to send it when you need a review.
Yeah,
Since
we're going to find a way to find.
so that's not a problem. So have you got much live stuff coming up in the next few months?
We are discussing with a promoter to organize the album release launch gig in Camden, very probably at the Black Cart in September. But on the 25th of June, we're going to play at the Good Mixer, still in Camden. So everyone
Okay.
is invited, and we're going to be on stage around 8:30 p.m.
Okay. So we're looking to get some representation in the London area. So hopefully we'll be able to send someone along.
It'd be great.
So Draw Blood for Proof. Now, I quite like that track. It's a very vivid title. Do you intend that to be like horrific or just a way of getting proof that it's what it is?
It's more a proof of a strong pact and connection as a meaning, probably. But
Okay.
it's more a question for John. But I guess the meaning is in there.
Okay. So when you're doing live shows, do they come across exactly the same or as near to as the recorded music?
Probably we are growing a lot as a live band because it's 1 year now that we added Fabio Staffieri as a guitarist. So
Hmm.
it's two guitars now, and we can work better on the dynamic beats, so we can go very quiet on verses and very heavy on choruses and middle eight beats. Yeah, and the band is getting very tight as a live show. So to answer your question, I don't know if it's exactly like the recording, which probably we are not as clean as the album recording, but it's definitely the same intensity as the album.
Good, good. Because as I said, the stuff that I've listened to would come across really well in a live setting. Of course, it depends on the live setting, but that's a different issue altogether. That's beyond your control. So the vast majority of your gigs are around the London area. Do you envisage going a bit wider afield?
Well, last year we toured in Scotland. In May, we opened for Gun for their acoustic gigs, and then we played also at Bonfest Festival
Hmm.
and in close to Dundee.
Opening for Gun must have been a good show.
Sorry,
Opening for Gun must have been a good show.
was definitely good and a cool experience, and they're very cool guys, and yeah, it was a very cool experience for us.
Good, good. So, like I said, you've got some bits and pieces coming off towards the end of the year. Have you heard about the Music Venue Trust? They're currently looking to get bands to play over the weekend of what would have been Glastonbury Festival on a countrywide grassroots program called Everywhere at Once.
No, but it's a very interesting info.
Yeah, I mean, it may be worthwhile having a look to see what's going on in your area and
Definitely.
just search for Everywhere at Once. And I'll put a link into this at the end anyway.
Thank you. And
So
and I think we played not too far from you when we played a Planet Rock festival called Rockstock.
you did Rockstock. Damn, I
Yeah,
missed that one.
yeah, we did I think 24.
I missed 24, which was a bit of a pig, but there we are. Maybe next time. So, like I said, it's been fab talking to you. It's been great having a chance to catch up about what's happening in the world of Heat Inc. If you are looking for any venues, back to the Music Venue Trust again, they've set up a countrywide resource where you can search for gigs called Hereby. And again, I'll put a link into this as well. I'm not promoting the Music Venue Trust. It's just promoting the things I think that could be useful to bands that are getting themselves about. Because you can search all the venues in the country and see where they're in proximity to give you an idea of what you could do for a quick weekend away or something.
It sounds very good, David.
Yeah, like I said, I'll put a link into this as well.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy your music and thoroughly enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure, and speak soon, and hopefully